Hello everybody, welcome back to MoMoVs The Bazaar, and I want to say post-game analysis, but this is not. This is a different type of video. Originally, I made a top 5 favorite builds. It's in the past, you can look it up if you want. But I'm curious if my opinion has changed since then. A lot of new items, a lot of new archetypes even have been introduced to the game. So that could definitely shake things up. And there's definitely a couple of new builds on there, but there are a lot of recurring ones. I'm just like always happy to do, always happy to see, and even some that are removed. So we'll take a look at that together. There's no particular order to my favorite list here, except for the last 3. I'll point that out when it comes up because those builds kind of like are near and dear to me, and I just have the absolute blast no matter like every time I get one working. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So first off, we have the virus. Yes, in particular, the pacifist series, dually with the virus has been so much fun. And trying out every flavor of virus is super, super awesome to me, right? Because each one plays to a different play style and things you want to look for, which is cool. You know, if you've not seen the pacifist series, I'll try to link every video shown here, every clip to the original gameplay. I'll try to link that down below. But in particular, why is this so like awesome to me is it's just such a different way of playing. Besides being pacifist, right, which normally you beat down your opponents to win, that's the Bazaar. Pacifist series, you're kind of trying to outlast your opponents, or in Dooley's case, transform all their items, and then eventually they take themselves out. So anytime there's like an alternative win con presented, and I can try to make it work, it's super, super fun, super rewarding, right? Because it's such a different way of playing Bazaar. And that's what makes Bazaar so unique to me. I come from a Magic the Gathering background, so like there's a lot of different win conditions in that game in particular. Some terms I may say like mill, I don't know, you can go into detail, but like typically you can like, you know, bash your opponent's face in with a creature, deal damage, or, you know, have cards that say win the game. You know, like there's different ways of playing. And the uniqueness, especially when it comes to virus, really, really enjoy. So, yeah, stay tuned. Pacifist series come back. Don't worry. Pig, Mac, and Vanessa are still on the chopping block. So, and I'll throw the virus run every once in a while. It's just so fun to do. That's why I made the list as one of my favorite builds. Moving right along. Next up, we have Value Pig. And yes, I should make the distinction here. This is OG Value Pig, right? Scaling up Subscraper to have insane amounts of value. I think this clip in particular, Subscraper all by itself has 1,400 value. And that's why you see these like 70,000 shielding, healing, these insane numbers. Is this harder to do in this day and age? I think so. And there's pros and cons, right? Because originally there was Deed and Ledger. I think it was named Deed at the time. And every time you sold 10 items, your adjacent items would get 15 value. It's now at Diamond tier, that same item, I think it's down to 7. So more than half nerfed. I think it's 7. Don't quote me on it. It definitely needed a nerf, but like it got really, really kind of rinsed. So it's a lot harder to scale value. But on the contrary, we did not have VIP Pass at the time, which can offer a ton of value scaling in and during the combats. Also, there was an event like Financial Pitch, I think, where you could like get 4 XP, like crazy stuff, 4 XP, upgrade a property, or you could double your income or the value of a property, which is harder to find these days, it feels like. I don't know if it's still in the game, but anyways, that's how you get like stupid, large pig item numbers, right? And this, you know, this spiky shield would be doing 300,000 damage. Like that's nuts. So it's really, really fun to see like funny number go big, and super rewarding, right? Like you can see I'm on like my last life here, trying to survive long enough to like make this work is a challenge in of itself. So. Value Pig OG Subscriber stuff makes the cut. Moving right along, we have Force Field. In particular, this one's special to me because it also has Angry Bloom bot, You know, I think this makes the cut for sure. And force field in particular, right? I run this item so much, and these days, I think it's even better than what it was here. Because as you can see, we have bunker on board, but our shield items are not getting multicast. So with the bunker change and everything else, force field was already tons of fun. And now it became even better. Because you're now multicasting force field, doing tons of damage, and it's like, it's pretty sweet when you get all the pieces, you know, coming together, because it's definitely not easy. But when it happens, it's like, it feels like one of the strongest builds in the game as well, besides being tons of fun. But here, this is OG Angry Balloon Bot, which they recently changed this month. It used to be when you lost shield, like, you gained 40% of it as damage on Angry Balloon Bot. So, like, if you had 1,000, you lost 1,000 shield, Angry Balloon Bot would have 400 damage, right? Simple maths. But if you were lucky enough to be able to get the shielded enchant, as you see here, now, not only does Angry Balloon Bot gain a ton of damage from the shielding, it now gives you a ton of shield, which then you can lose again by your opponents dealing damage, burning you, whatever. Gaining that damage again, and then also giving you even more shield. So it's like a self-fulfilled scaling option. It was really cool to see. So the longer the games went on, typically, the stronger Angry Balloon Bot came, the more likely you were to win. Was this the best build in its prime? No. Is it probably better now? Yeah. And I'm curious about Angry Balloon Bot, because now it's a 1-to-1 ratio. You lose 1,000 shield, you get 1,000 damage. Like, that's crazy to me. So I'll be looking forward to trying that in the near future. Yeah, but it's now a 10-second at gold tier and 8-second at diamond tier item. So definitely going to be curious to see the changes and how it feels. I haven't gotten to do it yet, but I'm looking to get around to it for sure. It's on the list, so force field makes the list. Moving right along, we have Probosus. Is anyone surprised? You shouldn't be at this point. Yeah, Probosus has been one of my favorite builds even since the beginning of the game. And I will say, like, when the game first came out, I think Probosus was memed on, like, this is an item, blah, 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 it's not that good. But I believed in it, and the more you used it, the better it became. There was a time it was, like, infinite with itself. Like, that was a wild time. But people, like, realized, especially that patch, like, wait, Probosus is really freaking good. And borderline OP, yeah. This clip doesn't do it, you know, makes it look real bad because it's doing 12 times damage. Yeah, like 4,000 damage Probosus per slow trigger, right? And, like, Vanessa gets a ton to begin with. But yeah, this was there with Femur when Mac wasn't unlocked. So, like, now that Femur's here, you know, it loses a little bit of the pizzazz. But every time you get Probosus, like, I'm going to build around this. I'm going to have a good time. And every class can make it work. I'd say Pig has the hardest time. You only have Marbles and Flashbang unless you get some funny enchant. But it's, like, it's really satisfying to watch this thing do, like, a rapid fire, slow triggers, and damage. So Probosus 100% makes the cut here. That's one of my favorite builds. Moving right along. So now things get spicy. This is probably my top 3. Any particular order on any given day, but let's just go like this for now. We're going to have Atomic Clock as the main focus and carry. Why is this so unique and special to me? You increase your opponent's cooldown so they are not able to use items, right? Like, if you take a look at any given item here, when I hover over it, you know, typically Pufferfish is what, like 8 seconds, 10 seconds or something, and you have, you know, like, a 8-second Illuso rate up to 16 seconds. Like, your opponents aren't using this item, and these clips are like pre-cooldown changes. And now Atomic Clock is even better because if you increase the cooldown as the item is going off, the effect, you know, the change to the cooldown used to not happen until it fired off, right? So I don't know how else to really explain this well. But an 8-second cooldown, even though there's a 16-second cooldown, this 16 seconds the extra 8 to it, right? Double its cooldown wouldn't apply until the item was tried to use again, right? It would take the original cooldown and still be 8 seconds, even though it says 16 until that item's used. So the big change is now, if you increase the cooldown as it's being used, you will see the charge bar like kind of go back down instead of like going up to being used. So it's much, much better to say the least. So much more viable these days going forward. And yeah, it's again an alternative way of winning, of like making your opponent's items, basically unplayable. Sometimes they won't, like, items won't even go off the entire fight now because of it. And the problem is you only find Atomic Clock on Dually, and then Dually has like some of the worst, ammo supporting things. Like, yeah, it's hard to get reload on it. It's hard to do all these things. I think here I have Jury Rigger, which is pretty good because this one's very unique because Missile Isles is reloading the turbo atomic clock here. So this is a very niche situation to get this cooking. That's why, like, when these runs happen, super fun, super awesome to see. And here's another showcase where it's successful. And again, the less items your opponent has, the better atomic clock gets. It gets around radiant and all that other sort of good stuff. Yeah, like your opponent's items are just not going off here, right? Like 18-second Wutashi Bird, like no other item in the game does this, right? Like you have bonked the skill, and then you have Atomic Clock increasing Wutashi Bird like by 10 seconds, or like something dumb like that. So really, really fun if you get it working. And here, if you get Atomic Clock on Vanessa, it's a lot more viable than like vice versa, right? Either on Dually you want to get the Powdered Horn or something. And on Vanessa, you have options. You have Powder Horn, you have Port, like, if you acquire this. So, yeah, it is a really, really fun, really, really awesome build around. So, that's why it definitely makes the list as one of my favorite builds. Moving on from there. And I'd say this definitely is my #1 still favorite build around. Yes, this hasn't changed. And unfortunately, this skill is no longer in the game. I don't know if there's a bug with it. It's been removed from the game for quite some time now. I don't know why, and no mention of it, whether it's coming back or not. But the skill, Frozen Flames, building around that. Not to be confused with the item Frozen Flame, the skill Frozen Flames. And it's pretty funny to me because I recently asked the question in my Discord, and a lot of people were like, I've never seen this skill. And that's fair because, like, it was in the beta. I think I last saw it in March and I haven't seen it since. But, it's a simple thing. When your items gain freeze, burn, right? So you actively want to look for ways to freeze your board to burn your opponent and win, right? If you freeze all the items, even better. Like Cryosphere becomes good. Stopwatch becomes great. No Frost Altar becomes good. Yeah, No Frost Altar is still really good with this, but like these two were never in the game at the same time. I hope they bring it back. Please, Reynad, this is a desperation call. But as you can see, it's really unique and very powerful, where like your whole game plan is to freeze your own items. Like if this was around during the Mac Infinite Freeze era, like people would be like hard digging for this item like every run. But yeah, as you can see here, we have Matchbox as like a burn trigger, but as soon as Stopwatch goes off, you see the burn on the Vanessa just like go up and up and up. I don't know, just something really satisfying. And again, this is a very different way of playing. Cryosphere and Stopwatch become like really awesome supporting items, and even carry items at that point, which is like, when do you ever see that? Like, yeah, you could probably throw in a Nitrogen Hammer, too. It'd be pretty sweet. But this is really, really fun to me and really awesome. So, definitely earns the #1 spot still. And I hope they bring it back in the future. Because if it happens, you're going to see, hopefully, more games of it. So, yeah, that makes the list. Couple honorable mentions, I will say. Boulder is an honorable mention. I'm gonna lose so many subscribers. I can't take it. Boulder's an honorable mention. It's every time you get a Boulder, it's a very fun run, and my chat is very partial in Discord and very protective when it comes to the Boulder. They have very strong thoughts about it, and if you disagree, they might just, you in particular. So be careful using the B word. Don't use it lightly. Boulder honorable mention. And next up, Cosmic Plunger. Why do I say that? The Cosmic Cosmic Plumage. I can't even think of like the actual name for it, but this funny item in the middle here is really starting to grow on me. And like, yes, it's a meme, but at the same time, like this item is like pretty good. When you look at it, 7-second cooldown item, and when you crit charge at 3 seconds, it scales up your weapons and shielding items. So it's like equivalent to like a pig's 28-hour fitness gym, but cares about critting, which is harder to do. But once you get a ton of crit, it's like a lot more consistent for sure. Like if you compare it to a core, I like to do this comparison. Like if you have 100% crit, which is like not the easiest thing to do, right? If you do, it charges itself up by 3 seconds, and if you reduce its cooldown by 1, all of a sudden 2 crit triggers and it's firing itself off. And if you give crit itself, it's now scaling itself up as well as other items if you have damage or shield on it. And it can also crit, right? So that's the big thing with Zion. I'm looking forward to playing with this more, figuring out, see if I can like get it, making it work really well in the near future. So, okay, and that brings us full circle. Yeah, I think that's a pretty well-rounded. I mean, there's definitely others that I was considering making in the list, like, if I can build around like the Colossus or the Dam, those items are super fun. They were more interesting before dualies. Dinosaurs became the whole thing where like they destroy items, but like better. But having like infinite triggers to spam the Colossus, blow up an entire board was fun. Or Dam was a really rewarding payoff if you're able to do enough aquatic stuff to destroy all, small and large items. Really cool to see. So there's a couple more honorable mentions, but yeah. I will say I was thinking about like unique video ideas. I think this is a good one to like bring back up again and then go from there. Let me know if you have any thoughts down below. I think the Pacifist series is like unique, and I try to do unique content too, besides just spamming out runs. Because I enjoy that, but also like taking a look at other things, tier lists. No, but like stuff like this, like showcasing my favorite builds. Maybe I'll do. This is what I wanted to show. As it stands right now, I have 557 video, probably 500 of those, or maybe a little more, 500 or like Bazaar runs. I have a lot of recorded Bazaar runs. I was thinking maybe making like a top 5 list of my favorite Bazaar runs themselves. Some may showcase, some of these items and stuff for sure. Yeah, maybe like a top 5 favorite runs of all time, and then like leaving links to those if you haven't seen them. Because like I have quite a bit, so you're gonna have to go through and figure that out. Curious if you'd like to see that. Let me know. But besides that, if you did get this far, especially a little longer of a runtime, just like a gap session, but shout out to my members over there. Bop, 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 bop. Make the channel go round and is above and beyond support. Love hearing from each and every one of you, though, down below in the comments, my Discord, live stream links, all that be there. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This was a fun one to make. And, now if I see some sort of builds out there, I appreciate them more. Like, really, which ones I really like. So, yeah. Till next one. See you later. Bye-bye.